Hey friends, it's time for our week 5 update. Alrighty, so container number 1, our petunias are back in bloom. If you remember last week, I had cut back all the stems because they were getting so lanky, so tall and spindly. So I cut them back and now I have new blooms. So in this container we have petunias that I grew from seed, a coleus that I grew from seed, white knight lobularia, and baby tut grass. So this is definitely the most filled in and green container. These do love sun. The coleus would do okay in shade. I think it's doing really well. It has flowers that I, pinch off all the time, so it does branch out. Yeah. So it's doing really well. There are the flowers, lots more buds coming on these. White flower in front. And the baby tut isn't back, so it is spilling out the back, but it's definitely kind of intermingling quite nicely. Alrighty, container number 2 are the geraniums, the bandana cherry lantana, and the orange kiss calibrachoa. So the calibrachoa is still on the small side, but it does keep producing blooms. The geranium I grew from seed, and it does have more buds on it. And the lantana just keeps doing its thing. It's getting taller and filling in, doing really well. I think this container especially will benefit from the heat we're going to get this week. So it's going to be in the 80s most of the week. So I think this container will definitely enjoy it. Okay, container number 3 has a black heart ipomea or sweet potato vine, a purple angelonia, and a Superbena Imperial Blue. And look at that Superbena filling in. Just pops on camera. Really is beautiful. So this one is doing well, filling in. Again, definitely loving the full sun location it is in. Okay, container 4 has a chartreuse ipomea called Marguerite, a purple fountain grass, and bright light white osteospermum. Bronze. Container 5 has the bronze orange canna lily, which you can see is finally blooming. It was not blooming last week when we did our update. I'll pop up a picture. But this week it definitely is. We have the yellow bidens and the bright light red osteospermum down here. Now we've had some rain and it has been dry, so it looks like that one leaf has a little damage on it. Other than that, this container is looking quite lovely. Container 6 is our Supertunia Mini Vista container. So we have Mini Vista Indigo, Violet Star, and Hot Pink, and they are definitely mixing. The Violet Star you can see to the right, in the middle, the left. The pink is coming forward. The indigo is definitely mixing in as well. It's moving to the sides and trailing forward. And in the middle we have the blue Mohawk Juncus. And it looks like it's time for me to cut back my asters behind it because they're encroaching. So I will do that so this container can shine. Alrighty, container 7, we have Blue My Mind XL Evolvulus and Argyranthemum golden butterflies. Whew. And this week, more than other weeks, I'm noticing the bright yellow and then the paler yellow. So the bright yellow of the new blooms and the paler yellow of the older blooms. So as they're fading, they turn a little bit of a paler yellow color, and it gives it some multi-dimensional interest. And there are definitely blooms on the Evolvulus, not a ton. You definitely see blue in there. All right, we have our 8th container, and this is Supertunia Bordeaux and Rockin' Playin' the Blue Salvia. And to be honest, the salvia looks a little more purple on camera than it does in person. In person, it's definitely more blue. And again, the penstemon behind it is doing great and definitely taking over the container. But the salvias, it looks really pretty intermingled with that pink of the penstemon. Didn't plan that, but yeah, it's definitely pretty back there. And the Supertunia is just doing its thing. It just fills in beautifully. I do still think the one on the right is a little bit behind the one on the left. I mean, it is catching up. It's filling in. It really does look nice. The whole thing is, you know, just kind of spilling forward and just what I thought it would do from a Supertunia. Container 9 is our pretty in pink container. So we have Senorita Rosalita Cleome, the Aromance Nemesia, and a pink Sun Patient. So very pretty. I like the habit on the Cleome. It is kind of, you know, shading out the Sun Patient, so I'm gonna have to trim back, I think, some of these leaves on it, but we'll see. I mean, it's blooming beautifully, the Sun Patient. And so is the Cleome. This actually, I mean, just, you know, kind of thinking forward to next year, I think the Cleome is lovely, and it probably would have done well as a centerpiece plant with a couple of the Nemesia around it, kind of coming up through the leaf canopy. But the Sun Patient definitely adds some additional color. So, you know what? This is why we experiment, check things out, try them out, and decide to do something different next year or repeat the same thing. Lastly, container 10 is a Ridiculous Coleus, a Diamond Frost Euphorbia, a Baby Tut, and a bronze orange Canna Lily. Now the Canna Lily is just starting to open a bud. I did plant this one about 2 weeks later than the other container, so it is a little bit behind just in that sense. The Ridiculous Coleus is gorgeous. I've trimmed it up a little bit. I've cut off some pieces, and so yeah, the Baby Tut is doing really well. This container definitely has my vote for the playing nicely together container. All right, friends, that's going to do it for today's update. I really appreciate you watching. If you enjoyed, give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next video.